Hello, welcome to the rebirth of the confident woman. And so, let me tell you what happened to me that was so interesting on this week. My children and I were watching a trailer for an upcoming movie that's getting ready to hit the big screens. And so, in this trailer, it appeared that the mother had a son that was in a coma from some type of accident that had happened in the movie. So they don't, they never tell us all at once what's happening. That's what caused us to go to the movie and watch it. So, nevertheless, in the trailer, the mother kept saying, in different parts of the scenes, she would say that I surrender. I surrender. And so my son turned around. He said, Mom, why does she keep saying that? What does that mean that I surrender? In the moment he had even mentioned the word surrender, I immediately had become convicted because I thought about all the times that I would run from the voice of God. I would run from my purpose. I would run from the things that I know I was supposed to be doing. I would run out of fear, out of doubt, of not believing that I could actually do it. So that was the first thing that flooded my mind. So yes, I gave him a definition. I said, you know what? When you surrender, in this case, you give everything that you have to God. You submit your will for his will. And he still looked sort of puzzled. He was like, okay. So I'm like, kids. So today I want to talk to you about the power of surrender. And that had been a word that's been very difficult for me, but it's also been near and dear to my heart because it's a word that is reoccurring because I know that God is trying to tell me something. He's always trying to tell me something. But in this particular case, I felt like that he highlighted that word in that trailer for my son to ask me, to remind me that it's not about me. So if I could just be totally transparent and honest, the transition here to Texas has been very difficult for me. I'm not used to being in a place where I don't know anyone. I'm not used to being in a place where I don't have anything to do. Let me rephrase that. I do have things to do. I'm a huge supporter of my children. I take them to their activities, but I'm talking about me personally, me following my dreams, me doing the things that I want to do. And for many of you that don't know, I've applied for 38 jobs. No, well, let me take that, 42 jobs since I've been here. And all of them had been rejection responses. And I had just been completely devastated. I'm like, what? I'm qualified. I have this, I have that, and they should be calling me back. But then I heard God. He said, I'm not calling you to work right now. I'm calling you to be still. And if anybody knows me, that is difficult for me because I'm used to moving, because I'm the confident woman on the move, right? And so this whole act of surrendering for me has been very foreign. So I want to talk to you about what I've learned since I've been in this state, not just the state of Texas, but in the state of surrender, and the 6 things that I've learned while I know that I needed to be still. So in my quiet time, here's some things that I have learned about myself. Number 1 is giving up my right to be right. And if anybody knows Dwan Bryant, you know that I do not like to be wrong. But what I'm learning in this season, in this process, that I do not know everything. And guess what? That's all right. That's all right not to know. It's okay not to know my next step. It's okay not to know where my next direction is headed. It's okay because I have surrendered my right to be right, and not saying that, you know what, I know I'm supposed to be over here. I know I'm supposed to be over there. No, I am where I am supposed to be. And I don't know if I'm talking to anyone on today, but it's time for you to give up your right to be right. It's okay not to know. It doesn't make you any less of a Christian, doesn't make you any less of a woman. Sometimes we just have to be still and hear what God is saying to us. And the next thing, number 2, what I've learned was to relinquish my ideals for his purpose. And so I came down to Texas. I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to get the whole confident woman on the move experience on the move. And I'm getting ready to do this and I am getting ready to do that. And baby, did God shut me completely down. He said, that's not what I'm calling you to do. I'm calling you to be still. So I had to relinquish my ideas because I came down here with a bowl full of ideas and thoughts and things that I said, this is what I'm going to do because I need to make sure that I don't die out. I need to make sure that people know who I am. And see, I was really trying to make it happen for myself. And see, when we try to make it happen for ourselves, that's where we mess up. He said our gifts will make room for us. And I had to learn that my gift eventually will make room for me, but not when I wanted to, but in the time that was already appointed for people to know who Dwan Bryant is here in Dallas, Texas. And then here was another thing that the enemy tried to fight with, because what the enemy does, he tries to fight you in your mind. And he don't want you to be at peace. He don't want you to have joy. He don't want you to have happiness. So he will do things to cause you to be in a state of irritation and frustration, which slows down the process. So I had to renounce those false beliefs, especially when I was getting those rejection letters. I had to renounce those false beliefs of not being good enough, because what happens is when you're rejected, you start rehearsing, why you were being rejected and all in your shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and why didn't I do this and why didn't I do that? But what I've learned for myself, it just simply was not for me, and I had to be okay with that. And another thing, number 4, I had to waive my own options and my own plans for what he already had planned for me all along. And that's the difficult things. But that's why faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Although you cannot see it, does not mean that it is not working behind the scenes. And I am so excited that God still knows my name. And guess what? He still knows your name too. And 5, I had to submit my will, because sometimes we get so strong-willed. When a person is pulling on you, they're trying to pull you in a certain direction, and you're holding back because it's like, no, I don't want to go because this is what's familiar for me. This is what I'm good at. This is what I'm known for. So we pull our will against his will because we already have in our mind that this is about as much as we're going to have. And he has so much more for us. And then lastly, I want you, let's do it together. Abandon our fears, self-doubts, and self-limitations, and to get out of the boat and get out of that boat and get into the boat with confidence and courage and boldness, and act like you know where you're at. Act like you know who you are. But before you're able to do that, you have to surrender to your here, which is right here. Until next time.